Hey everyone, Nick here. Should you invest in a taxable brokerage account or an individual retirement account, also known as an IRA? This is a common question. We're going to compare these accounts and the pros and cons. So what is an IRA? An IRA is a type of investment account. The government has created special rules for these types of accounts to promote saving for retirement. There are two types of IRAs, the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. We'll get into the details of how these differ in a minute. Now, what is a taxable account? A taxable account is just a regular account without any special rules. Your checking account, savings account, and regular brokerage account are examples of taxable accounts. They are called taxable accounts since they don't get any specific tax treatment like you can get in an IRA or 401k. I like to think of these accounts like piggy banks. You can put money into the accounts, then invest that money in stocks, bonds, or other asset classes. However, the IRA piggy bank has different rules than the taxable piggy bank. The government regulates how much money you can put in the piggy bank and when you can take money out of the piggy bank. Nobody likes the government telling you what to do, but these restrictions do come with some benefits. Now let's walk through the different pros and cons of these accounts. Wait, what's that? Well, that's a little harsh, but I'll tell them. That was the government telling me that if you don't smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, they will abolish the IRA. No, seriously though, if you want to help support free financial education on YouTube, please smash the like button so that YouTube shares it with more people. The main reason people love IRAs is due to their favorable tax treatment. Ever since I was shocked by the taxes on my first paycheck when I was 14 washing dishes in a restaurant, I have been trying to avoid paying taxes. With a taxable account, you don't get any tax benefit. With IRAs, you get a tax benefit. And this is where the traditional and Roth differ. With the traditional IRA, the government lets you skip paying taxes on income now, invest the money with tax-free growth, and then any withdrawals from the traditional IRA in retirement are treated like ordinary income. Even if you're getting dividends in the traditional IRA, which are typically taxed at lower rates in a taxable account, when you withdraw them from a traditional IRA, they are taxed like ordinary income. Now with the Roth IRA, you don't get a tax benefit now. You use your regular after-tax income to fund the account. But then all growth and withdrawals from the account are tax-free. Both of these are a good deal. A general rule of thumb is that if your taxes are going to be higher now than they will be when you retire, then the traditional IRA is better. But if your taxes are going to be lower now than they will be when you retire, the Roth is better. I made another video going into more details on Roth versus traditional, which I'll put up here and down below. The fact is, nobody knows what taxes will be in the future, so this is basically a gamble. I like to diversify my exposure, so I use the traditional 401k at work, the Roth IRA, and invest extra in a taxable account. Now, what about getting your money out of the account? You can withdraw contributions and growth from taxable accounts at any time. Since the point of the IRA is to promote saving for retirement, by giving special tax benefits, the government puts restrictions on when you can withdraw money. In a traditional IRA, you cannot withdraw your contributions or growth until age 59 and a half. If you want the money before then, you have to pay a 10% penalty and the taxes that are due. In a Roth IRA, you can withdraw contributions since you already paid the taxes. However, you also have to pay the penalty on growth if you want to withdraw the growth before age 59 and a half. Now, Roth IRAs also have a requirement that the account must be open for 5 years in order for the withdrawal on growth to be tax-free in retirement. There are certain exemptions to these early withdrawal penalties. You can look them up. In addition to restricting when you can withdraw money, the government will actually force you to withdraw money from the traditional IRA. They want their taxes. So once you reach age 72, they force you to withdraw a certain amount of money every year. This is called an RMD, short for Required Minimum Distribution. These are based on the average life expectancy. The idea is that you withdraw all the money by the time you die and pay your taxes. There are no required distributions in taxable accounts or Roth IRAs. Access and control are the main sticking points for many people with IRAs. You get great tax benefits, but you are forced to lock the money away for decades. If you want to have the option to use that money earlier, let's say to start a business, you lose that flexibility with the IRA. Another common sticking point for some people is retiring early. Many people are pursuing FIRE, financial independence, retire early. I am one of them, although I'll probably not retire early. But if someone plans to retire early and most of their investments are locked until age 60, what happens? Well, this is where other strategies come into play, like the Roth conversions. Basically, if you retire early and start converting your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, you would pay ordinary income tax on the amount you convert each year. Then once it's in the Roth, you can withdraw that as it's a contribution that's already been taxed. This is the basic explanation, and the topic warrants a separate video. I just wanted to point out that IRAs are not always a deal breaker for people who want to retire early. If you aren't comfortable locking money away or want more flexibility and control, you may want to stick to a taxable account or to limit how much you contribute to the IRA. In fact, the government puts limits on how much you can contribute anyway. There are limits on how much you can contribute each year to the IRAs, and only people under certain income limits can contribute. You can contribute up to $6,000 per year to IRAs in total. This includes both the traditional and Roth. You can contribute some to each, but the total cannot exceed $6,000 unless you're over the age of 50, in which case you can contribute an extra $1,000. You are also not allowed to contribute if your income is over a certain amount. For a traditional IRA, the amount you can contribute starts to phase out at $66,000 as an individual and $105,000 if you're married filing jointly. For a Roth IRA, it's $125,000 as an individual and $198,000 for married filing jointly. A little above these limits, the phase out will actually prevent you from contributing anything at all. Now, there is a loophole with the backdoor Roth, which lets people bypass the limit for the Roth. This warrants a separate video. But the contributions and income limits are adjusted for inflation, so make sure you check the most up-to-date limits. The government gives another special benefit for low and medium income earners in the form of a saver's credit. This can be worth up to $2,000 per year, depending on your income and how much you save. This can make a big difference. So what are my thoughts on taxable versus IRA? I believe in maximizing tax-advantaged accounts. I contribute the maximum amount the government will let me to the various tax-advantaged accounts. Then whatever's left, I invest in a taxable account. If I were someone who really wanted to start a business, I might stick to a taxable account. For instance, becoming a real estate investor has a lot of tax benefits and leverage that could be better than IRAs. Some people may also be uncomfortable with the idea of locking money away for decades. In this case, a taxable account or even a Roth account where you can access contributions may be a good place to start. I started with a Roth account for this reason. When I started investing, I just wasn't fully comfortable with completely locking away large amounts of money. The Roth let me have the option to get the tax benefit, but still get access to the investments if needed. As the amounts of my investments grew, I became more comfortable as I had grown a sizable emergency fund, a taxable account, and pretty significant Roth contributions I could access. So now I just max out all the retirement accounts. I even use strategies to try to maximize the unique aspects of each of these accounts. By having different types of investments in different accounts, you can get some minor optimization on taxes. If you want to learn more about this, I'll put a link up here and down below to another video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Leave a comment and let us know which account you think is better and why. If you got value and want to help support free financial education, smash the like button and then subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Later.